You say you want success, but comfort has become your favorite addiction. And unlike drugs or alcohol, this addiction looks normal. Nobody questions it. Sleeping a little longer, scrolling a little more, avoiding difficult conversations, delaying your goals for tomorrow, waiting for the perfect time that never comes. That's how comfort traps people, not through pain, but through convenience. And the scariest part? Most people don't even realize they're wasting their lives until years have already disappeared. Because comfort is sneaky. It whispers things like, "You deserve to rest. You can start tomorrow. One more day won't hurt." But those small delays slowly become your lifestyle. You wake up every day with dreams in your mind, yet your actions keep building a completely different future. And deep down, you know it. You know there's more you could be doing, more discipline you could build, more risks you should take, more potential inside you waiting to be unlocked. But comfort keeps pulling you back, because growth is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. And the human mind naturally wants safety. That's why most people stay stuck in the same cycles for years. Not because they're stupid, not because they're incapable, but because comfort feels safer than uncertainty. Think about it. How many opportunities have people missed simply because fear convinced them to stay where they were familiar? How many dreams died because somebody chose temporary comfort over long-term growth? People say they want change, but their habits say otherwise. And habits never lie. Your daily actions reveal the truth about your priorities. Not your words, not your intentions, your actions. Because everybody wants the reward, few people want the process. Everybody wants confidence. Few people are willing to face rejection. Everybody wants success. Few people can tolerate discomfort long enough to earn it. That's why discipline is rare. Most people only move when they feel motivated. But motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel inspired. Other days you'll feel empty. If your life depends on motivation, inconsistency becomes inevitable. Real growth begins when you learn how to act even when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between people who transform their lives and people who keep restarting every Monday. Comfort creates illusions. It convinces you that staying the same is safer. But staying the same is often the biggest risk of all, because time keeps moving whether you improve or not. And one of the most painful feelings in life is realizing you became comfortable watching your own potential slowly disappear. Years pass quickly. One day you suddenly look around and realize you're still making the same excuses, still battling the same fears, still promising yourself the same things. Meanwhile, life keeps moving. Other people grow. Other people evolve. Other people take risks. And you stay trapped inside routines that no longer inspire you. That's why comfort can quietly destroy ambition. Not instantly. Not dramatically. Slowly. Like water dripping on stone. A little distraction here. A little procrastination there. Until eventually you become a stranger to the person you once hoped to become. And social media makes this even worse. Because now comfort is available 24 hours a day. Endless entertainment. Endless scrolling. Endless distractions. Your brain is constantly being trained to avoid boredom, avoid silence, avoid effort. The moment things become difficult, you escape. You grab your phone. You seek dopamine. You run toward comfort again. And over time, your ability to focus, struggle, and persist becomes weaker. That's why so many people feel mentally exhausted nowadays. Not because they're physically overworked, but because their minds are overstimulated and undisciplined. You can't build a meaningful life if your attention belongs to distractions. And this is why solitude becomes important. Because silence reveals things distractions try to hide. When you sit alone long enough, you begin noticing the truth about yourself. The excuses, the fears, the laziness, the procrastination, the wasted potential. And most people avoid silence because honesty is uncomfortable. But discomfort is necessary for transformation. Every meaningful change in life begins with discomfort. The gym is uncomfortable. Learning is uncomfortable. Healing is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. But remaining the same becomes painful too. So eventually you have to choose your pain. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And regret lasts much longer. A lot of people think confidence comes first. It doesn't. Action comes first. Confidence is built by surviving uncomfortable situations repeatedly. You become stronger by facing difficulty, not by avoiding it. That's why people who embrace discomfort often develop powerful levels of self-respect. Because every time you keep promises to yourself, your mind begins trusting you more. And self-trust changes everything. When you trust yourself, you stop depending on external validation. You stop needing constant motivation. You stop waiting for permission. You stop fearing temporary discomfort. Because now you understand something most people never learn. Your future is created by the things you repeatedly do. Not occasionally. Repeatedly. Small habits shape identity. Every time you procrastinate, you reinforce delay. Every time you quit early, you reinforce weakness. Every time you avoid fear, you reinforce insecurity. But the opposite is also true. Every disciplined action strengthens your character. Even small actions matter. Waking up earlier, keeping your word, finishing difficult tasks, being consistent when nobody is watching. Those small victories slowly rebuild your mind. That's how transformation actually happens. Not through one motivational video, not through one lucky opportunity, but through repeated uncomfortable choices. And honestly, most people underestimate how much their environment affects them. If you surround yourself with people addicted to excuses, comfort becomes normal. Average becomes normal. Complaining becomes normal. Avoiding responsibility becomes normal. Environment silently shapes standards. That's why protecting your mindset matters. Because eventually, whatever you tolerate repeatedly becomes your reality. You cannot build an exceptional life with lazy habits. At some point, you must become honest with yourself. Not emotionally, not dramatically, honestly. Ask yourself, what is my comfort costing me? Because every addiction has a price. Comfort costs dreams. Comfort costs discipline. Comfort costs opportunities. Comfort costs time. And time is something you never recover. That's why waiting for the perfect moment is dangerous. The perfect moment rarely exists. Most successful people started before they felt ready. They acted while uncertain. They moved while afraid. They learned while struggling. Meanwhile, others kept waiting. Waiting became their lifestyle. And maybe that's where you are right now. Stuck between who you are and who you could become. Deep down, knowing you're capable of more, but trapped inside familiar routines. If that's you, understand this. Your life changes the moment discomfort stops becoming your enemy. Because on the other side of discomfort is growth. On the other side of discipline is freedom. On the other side of consistency is confidence. You do not become powerful by staying comfortable. You become powerful by proving to yourself that discomfort cannot control you. That's when your identity changes. And once your identity changes, everything else follows. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop choosing temporary comfort over the future you truly want. Because years from now, you will either thank yourself for the difficult choices you made today or regret the comfort that kept you weak.